Shout out to CBE for making a sight with 3,900 screws. We're at Spokane Valley Archery. Jeff behind the lens needs to get some arrows. He's out of bullets. After my horrible score of 164 out of 20 targets, last video we published was a check-in, kind of a reality check. Hey, I haven't shot 3D since TAC. Let's go shoot the local 3D course and just see what's up. Litmus test was, if you watch the video, I said on camera, I feel like I'm shooting really well today. Like, that to me means I'm taking really good controlled shots. And my pen, I don't mind a pen float, but I didn't have much of a float that day. It was just kind of buried. And I felt like I had good execution. As I alluded to on the video, my first axis was off. So I'm not an archery expert. I know a lot about elk hunting and fitness, nutrition, training, but I've been bow hunting a long time, and I have heard people tell me that the first axis doesn't matter, it's irrelevant, and I think a lot of sight manufacturers don't even make it an adjustment so that you can do that. Spot Hog Forever, HHA, Black Gold was one of the ones to start where they had a little driver where you can really adjust the rail. So to explain the rail, if your rail's not on, that's just like the thing that holds your sight housing that comes from the riser. If that's off because maybe your bow, maybe you're wheeling, or maybe the way your bow was made, it's just not perfectly straight. Well, if that sight's just a little bit tilted, no matter what you do, even if your second axis and your third axis is good, the further you back up, your arrows will go further and further away. And I was experiencing that. So I want to show you kind of what I decided to do to mitigate that. The first thing I did was like take the HHA out. It's gone. And I love the HHA, guys, and I love that they have 3-pin indicators now. The second axis, also your bubble, your sight of choice could come from the manufacturer to you, and you stick it in or attach it to a dovetail or direct mount, and you put a string level on, and it's level in a vise, and then you get your bubble to match that string. That's your second axis. And then your third axis is a whole nother can of worms for steep uphill, steep downhill shots that I believe you should do sight in. But if your first axis is not adjustable and it's coming out of your bow just slightly off kilter, you're gonna be like I was, just literally having left and rights, depending on if you're close or further. And then there will be a sweet spot where everything will hit true. So you'll be like, oh, it's me. I hope to mitigate and fix this in this video, and then go to the archery range and shoot the course and see what's up next. So I have the housing, or the scope housing, that I used on that video. Dark Owl, 3-pin. Their pins aren't dark, even though the name's Dark Owl. I can see them, and I don't have to have a light like this one. So UV sent me a prototype 3-pin vertical, but I want you guys to look at the differences. So the one in my right hand, the pin gap's just too crazy. So for what I'm shooting right now, that top pin, if it's at 20, that second pin's 37, and that bottom pin's like 51.5. This one was built with my specs in mind. I sent them my feet per second, and I sent them my shot radius, which is measurement from my eyeball to the peep. That's my pen gang. It matches up 20, 30, 40. So I put it on a UV slider, and the UV's in the, right now I got string levels. This is the bubble I'm really paying attention to, the one out here. That's level. I put 2 Gen 2 Hamskea leveling devices on the rail here just to make sure level, because there is some user error involved if you don't make this perfect. I got both bubbles level. I don't have to make any more adjustments, but I can on this sight right here with this set screw. I got it to where I want it. Then I can put this on. I will make sure that this bubble matches up with the string level bubble. Then theoretically my rail, or first axis, my bubble, second axis, all matches up with that string level. You can also use a good old-fashioned carpenter level and go from the basically your limb pocket to limb pocket. And this bubble is dead in the middle, and my other Gen 2 is dead in the middle. Lots of ways to do it, skin a cat, but I can't hunt with this in a lot of the states I hunt. So if I don't use this, these pins are too dark. It's kind of a long hallway scope vibe. Plus the pin gap is not adjustable, it is fixed. So if you're gonna do a fixed, why not go Dark Owl where the guy can make it exactly to your liking? So we're gonna throw this on now. Click. 3-pin vertical. The second pin is gonna be the one that you're gonna want to really make sure, nail it down, even with this dark owl scope, because I can't adjust the pins, but I can adjust the pin indicators for the middle pin. The middle pin is what it is. You can only adjust the top and the bottom pin indicators, so make damn sure, and what I usually do is just match it up on a sight tape. We're gonna go ahead and just make sure we find where that middle pin is 30, 20 will be spot on, and so will 40. Connecting. All right, let's get some shout outs. Dalton, you got 20 shots in, man, an 82% average score. Nice job. I gotta finish making up some arrows for camera dude, Jeff Dodds. He talked to MFJJ about arrow options. Roll the footage. We're at Spokane Valley Archery. Jeff behind the lens needs to get some arrows. He's out of bullets, and he's eyeing a couple different Easton offerings. So we're gonna go bug Josh to kind of break those down for him, and then Jeff's gonna pick ultimately, because you can always learn something from MFJJ. Let's go.
What do you see, man?
Yin yang!
Yeah.
Yin yang! How many millimeters is this?
6.
How many millimeters is this?
4. And then you have this at 5 millimeter, but it's way too heavy.
Wow, you're very opinionative.
They know how I feel.
These are all 300 spines for Jeffrey.
They're all 300 spines.
Go GPIs.
I do not know the GPI of this one,
You
honestly. But I know these are like...
It says on there.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do your job.
You don't want to tell me, you just say it.
Oh, here we go. This one is 10.7 GPI for an Easton Axis 5 mil. Long range 4 mil, 9.4 GPI.
Electronics are 8.8.
8.8. So these are all good options, Jeffrey.
You remember...
What do you want?
Sonics.
Sonics?
Yeah. You remember the torch?
The Easton, or no, the Michael Waddell dud torch?
Yeah, it's basically that. I mean, they're slightly different, but that's that.
What's the price points differential?
For the 1000 straightness, those are 150. Like they're everything about that arrow is great, other than it's its own internal insert and its own internal nock. So
what if
the componentry choices are very poor. There's not a lot of them.
What comes with it?
But they do make, so they come with a standard aluminum, and then they do make a 50-75 grain break off brass option. So the beauty of a lot of these different manufacturers is they're giving you different straightness grade options, which is phenomenal when you're not going to hunt with the arrow.
Okay.
Because when you're dealing with a straightness, like a high performance straightness, that matters when you put a broadhead on the front of the arrow. Really doesn't matter when it's a field point. So if you're just practicing with them, buy the cheaper version. It's the exact same diameter, it's the exact same GPI, exact same everything other than straightness, and you will not see a straightness difference with a field point. You'll only see it with a broadhead.
So these are match grade.
These match grades are for hunting.
Okay. So
that's a pro tip right there. Standard grades, save yourself like $30 a dozen or
oh dang.
Dozen.
So 120?
Yeah, I think these are like 120 if I remember right. For a whole dozen. I mean, this is, like I said, everything about this arrow. If they just made this in a 5 millimeter, it'd be a freaking gangster arrow. But it's still a very popular arrow.
All right, let's go get them some brass.
Well, at an 8.8 GPI, what tip weight do you want to use? You want to use 100 grains, 125s? What do you prefer?
125s.
Okay, so if you're going to use 125s, I would break those off to where that weighs 50 grains. Then in your front of your arrow, you'll have a 175 grains in the front. At 8.8, at a 28 cut, you'll be 15%. Give or take, which is a nice combination, and still a relatively, like, these are economical. Like, they're not expensive. It's a really, really, really good option for the average guy, and brass inserts aren't super expensive. I want to say these are like $20 a dozen or something.
Nice.
It's not bad. So
for the brass and the arrows, we're same price as the actual hunting arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little setup. Cock it, lock it, ready to rock it. Okay, so this is the front of your riser, that's the center of the bolt hole, and that's your front of your launcher. Okay, go ahead and set it forward. So that's basically shaft-wise 26.5, and that'll give you, as long as you're not using a collar or anything like that, that's still in front of your launcher.
Okay.
So that should be an adequate amount of room. So we'll set the saw at that, and then chop them off. Always just mark your arrow and line it up with the saw blade. Don't try to measure it and then go off of a tape. It always ends up off a little bit. So we want to cut through that line. Make sure that's down tight and that's good. Yeah. And then you rotate into the blade slowly, and ideally you go all the way around the arrow about twice before you got all the way through it. So flip your switch on. Just rotate in, rotate in, rotate in. And that'll give you a straight cut that you won't really have to square. If you push it in and rotate it over, you'll end up with jagged ends and you're running over square a lot. And then once you get the one set, you can cut all the other ones. The saw's already set for it. You got the reservoir tip on again today?
The what?
The reservoir tip. When when you have those brain blasts, it's got somewhere to go.
I do, yeah.
Are either one of you married?
No.
No.
Do either one of you have a girlfriend?
Are you talking to the 2% right now?
The 2%.
Wait. He's shooting Vegas, are you?
No.
No.
Not Vegas ready.
Okay.
No.
Well,
You might be shooting a higher score than me right now, because I've shot once. Module Central.
Mods.
Those are mods.
Like more
Sabers.
mods.
Dude, we have so many freaking mods now. It's nuts. There's all the target bow switch weight mods are down there. I need a large click heavy. Only got like 40 of those. I like the weight better at anchor, and then I like the click engagement.
Have you tried the Apex from CBE?
No, not yet.
Not the Apex Core, but
Oh yeah, no, I saw that.
been
I
around
shot
forever.
that. Yeah, I shot that.
because you shot the
Sigma.
Sigma forever.
Yep, this
I
is
meant
true.
Scott, not CBE. You knew what I meant.
Yeah, I did.
Are you gonna pay for that?
This?
Yeah.
I pay for everything that's in here. It all belongs to me. Literally all this belongs to me. Hey, here's the lift mod section. 0. Please stop emailing, calling, or asking if I will sell you a module. I'm not allowed to sell them until after May at the earliest. So please stop emailing me.
Okay. Inside out?
I don't know.
Guaranteed.
No, not for sure. It's a different release, and I still didn't have it fully sighted in on Friday. It was running arrows, and okay, these are hitting a little left. Oh, these are hitting a little high. I think they're high because the first 2 that I've shot were both high.
Yep.
But they're breaking in the middle, and that's really all I care about right now.
All right, so these arrows are here. I gotta finish building them. I'll do that real quick, bring you guys along, and then I gotta go out, inspect what I expect, get a few shots, and then next time you see us, we'll be at the archery range. We're gonna get Jeff's baseline, which is gonna be great, and then hopefully I can do baseline test number 2 and beat the score of 164 out of 20 targets. Conditions change and vary. It's winter, it's cold, it's rainy, it's snow. It's awesome. I love archery. Jeff did cut a few arrows at the shop, it looks like. This is my new, to me, Carbon Express saw. So I've never, ever touched Sonics. And I gotta say, I'm pretty interested in trying them myself. So these are the ones they did at the shop. Josh cut them, I believe, or Jeff cut some too, but all the ends were squared. These are the ones I just cut. That Carbon Express saw is a million times better than the cheapo Cabela saw that I've been having forever. That was quite an upgrade. Hopefully you caught that whatever way the blade's going, spin it the opposite way. It'll cut it so much better, and that's so important. We're gonna square off the ends and then we'll clean it. This is this G5 squaring tool, the newer one. Doesn't take much to get your arrows nice and square. Jeff bought the, if you guys caught that, he bought the not straightest. He didn't buy match grade, knowing that these were gonna be practice arrows, not hunting arrows. So he'll be getting the match grade down the road, and the price point is really good. I think he spent 120 for a dozen. That's awesome. I'm gonna get him 6 arrows built, and I'm gonna save him 6 to build, because I don't think he's ever built his own arrows. Just wanna teach him how to do that. Some of you probably have never built arrows either. I want you to. I think you care more than the shop. The shops do a good job. I'm just saying I think you might care more. So once we've done this square, we're gonna just clean the inside outside with probably just a little bit of acetone, honestly. We could do alcohol, but that's really it. The old AE wipes. All right, so we got that. These are, clean the insides of those, and then we'll see the arrow wraps that we have now come with the diameter. So I would need the bigger one, the 270 to 309. Brass inserts from Easton. They're break-offs, so 75 plus the arrow will put you at 321. So if we didn't break them off, because 25 grains could break off, it's gonna put them at 322 before we add a wrap or veins so he'd be realistically, use a 100 grain broadhead, you'd be around 450, which is close to what he's used to. His draw lane's 28 and a half. We're gonna break them off. Just gonna call it. For me, if I'm gonna add weight, I kinda wanna add it, look how easy that is. I wanna add it in the broadhead. So break it off, and it weighs 50 grains on the nose. So we're gonna try Star Bond. So we're gonna open her up. That's nice.
Growing up. Place your bets. Place your bets. But as I progress and age, the races build their rage, and still yet another stage is set. Gather round, place your bet. On 21 black, or 36 red, the difference in color forced in your head.
So Jeff, you got your arrows that you built the rest?
Yes, sir.
Nice. So hella helical here. Hella helical.
Left helical.
Probably
Right.
5 something degrees more. Total arrow weight 436, I believe we said. So look what he busted out. Huh? Ooh. Very nice. We can slap that together. We're gonna get Jeff's CBE Trek 3V doped in real quick. It's 3-pin vertical, so imagine as an elk hunter, archery elk hunter, what do you want your pen gang to be? Like 20, 30, 40?
30, 40, 50.
30, 40, 50. So you want, so when you roll up all the way up to the dead stop,
30, 40, 50, right?
you want that top green pin to be at 30 yards.
Correct.
So we can move the green pin, which is the top pin. We can move the bottom pin, but we cannot move the middle pin. So we need to go find 40 yards is. And with this sight, you can kind of adjust the entire gang, moving this up or down to maximize. So basically what I'm saying is to maximize your sight tape,
To go all the way
go
down.
to the dead stop, and then move things until the 40 is where it wants. Then that'll give you as much travel as possible to
Hit some long bombs.
get much yardage. So I'm gonna move this all the way up. It's got its own dead stop.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna show you guys how we not only adjust, well, let's do it right. Let's check your first axis.
Okay.
We found out that that's pretty important,
Yeah.
especially at long range. This sight has an adjustment for your first axis. Good job, CBE. Then we'll check his second axis, and you can shoot in your third axis if we're being real.
Right.
So grab that, bring it on over. We'll throw a string level on. Right now,
We're pretty far right.
we're not gonna look at that bubble. We don't care about the bubble.
Okay.
We care about this rail. I want to get this guy absolutely perfect. I think the Hamsky Gen 2 is your best bet. It tells me that it's pretty much check. Hamsky Gen 2, I have these 2 screws cracked so we can tilt it until it is absolutely level. Right there. Level, level. Now I care what the bubble says. And if I look at the bubble, I see that it's a little bubble left. You guys tell me what you think. Does that help?
Yes. It's a little left.
A little left, right?
Yep.
A little left is gonna show
No, a
up
little
big
left.
time.
Not right.
So first thing I wanna do is, now that I got the Gen 2 level, I just wanna get these secured. So I'm gonna give them a little extra mustard. We don't want anything moving. And I would suggest that when you do your second axis adjustment here in a second, I'll show you guys, you're gonna want to make sure that they, once you get it level, that they sit level and that you tighten the bolts, because the last thing you want is to walk outside and all of a sudden it bumps and it's loose again. And I'm just talking from experience. All right, so we're gonna move the lights, and these are gonna be our second axis adjustments. It's gonna be very subtle. We're gonna loosen and tighten. They work against each other to get that bubble reading level. Yep. Okay, we're going to go here, give it a loose, give it a little loose. Oh, you see how that moved it? So, staying over here, I'm gonna lift it up until it's absolutely perfect. Right there. Oh!
First try.
Now this is the part I'm talking about. You can't really leave these kind of loose or just barely tight. It will move. Shout out to CBE for making a sight with 3,900 screws. They're in second place to the landslide. And Blake, if you're watching, Blake Kidder, sales rep for CBE. That was a shot. That was a shot, y'all. But I got nothing but love. Hey, we're running this, so I'm just one thing to know is the ins and outs. Now, let's look at what we're gonna do next. We're gonna show you, then we're gonna go do it. This dude right here is maxed all the way up. So all the way up, there's my dead stop. But I can manipulate this by loosening 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can keep it completely maxed out at the dead stop, but I can manipulate this because I guarantee when he walks out and uses his red pin, middle pin, trying to get that zeroed at 40 yards because the middle pin's not adjustable. We're gonna move this down until we hit 40 perfect. Once 40 is, we're gonna lock it in, and then I will show you guys how to adjust the green top and bottom right here. And we might have enough light. So this screw right here is your top pin set screw. You're gonna loosen that. And then right in underneath this guy, you either tighten or loosen it to move it up or down. Once you get it, and there's little marks right here. These little hash marks can help guide you. Set for 30 perfectly for Jeff. Then we'll do the same thing. Can you see that set screw right there, kids? Kids at home, do you see that set screw?
Yep.
That's your bottom pin, you'll loosen it. And that's your mover screw right here. You'll move that up or down right there. And then Jeff should be set. Then he can work on using the sight-in tapes that come with the sight. First things first though, let's go shoot your new arrows and find 40 yards with your middle pin. Kifaro hip quiver, check. You can, this is your little pant leg. They keep it in there. So on the back here, something like that. You have big thighs, Jeff.
I do.
So you may or may not use this. I use it probably like at tack when we're hiking, but if I'm in my backyard.
So give us a story about why you started running this thing.
Tack?
No. The
Run
quiver.
this?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because you use it every time you shoot your bow.
It'll make sense once you use it. It's just like you grab all your arrows, they're on your hip, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna go up, pull it through, your molly, get it spread out. Check, do the same one here. Boom. We're gonna go through the bottom of these ones. One more time. You can stay hydrated.
Boom.
Okay, then this can cinch down depending on how tight you want your Nalgene. This guy's cool. You can keep, I usually keep like one of these, a pen to mark all my 11s. As a joke.
All your 5s?
2 5s in the last session. Secret pocket for your marijuana.
Nice.
You can put your pipe right there or your joints. I'm joking, kids. These are jokes. We're just keeping it.
You live in Washington, though, so.
I do live in Washington.
That'll work. Let's go freaking shoot. Been here a month. This is the first time shooting my bow as an ElkShape employee.
You got a release?
I do.
Let's go. All right, we're gonna walk up to 20 yards and have him shoot that middle pin, and I hope he's 5-6 inches high. That'll mean we're pretty close to 40. And then Luna, you guys have seen Luna. She tries to get in front of us when we're shooting bows. It's cool. You know, I said 6 inches high. Where did you aim?
A little bit low.
You aimed a little low?
Yes. I'll do it again, though.
Nah, we don't have time for that. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. No, no, wrong way. Get out of here. Get out of here. Aim for the 11. Check.
40.3.
We know you're gonna be low. We're gonna make an adjustment right now.
Okay.
Can you see these little screws here?
No.
I'm loosening. And because you're low, we gotta follow the arrow, so we gotta move the whole gang down. So I'm loosening. And then on the other side, the exact same thing. Jeff, will you be my assistant?
Yes.
This is a two-hand deal. So I want to hold, I don't want this to just fall all the way down the bottom. So we're gonna loosen this guy and loosen this guy. And so I'm gonna move it. So we're still maxed out on your, and don't worry about these pin indicators. We'll set them where we like them. And this is the only quite coarse, non-micro tuning part that take your time. And then once we get this set, this is your home, and home will have a dead stop. You guys won't be able to see this, but I'm just tightening the same screws on this other side. Okay, so we just moved the whole gang down. The thing is maxed out at the top. Shoot at 40. Oh, I think middle pin is very, very close.
Yeah, it is.
So let's adjust.
Such a great bow.
Let me see this. So the whole sight needs to go that way.
Yeah,
we need
right here.
You can mess with your course if you wanted to, but we're gonna loosen this, and then you're gonna move your sight to the left. So you're gonna go backwards a little bit.
Sorry, I'm going this way, left.
You're gonna move this to the left. Yep, keep going. Tighten that down. Shoot her again. I expect your arrow to be closer to where you're aiming, and same elevation is the most important part. But I think we're close.
Punched that. Guys, do you guys punch the trigger? Because I definitely
punch it?
I did. So we'll be able to work on that weakness together.
Dude, I really like where that middle pin is. Those arrows are right where 40 needs to be. One thing you need to do here.
I'm still left though.
Loosen this. Slide that thing over. All right. Probably took you too far over to the right, but let's go look at your arrows real quick. Okay. I think 40 is locked in. Arrows you're gonna wanna focus in on. So he's aiming for this right here. These are his last two shots at 40, and then his last shot at 40, I moved him too far over, so we'll split the difference. I'll move his sight to the right just a couple clicks, and he'll be right there. So I like where 40's at. I feel really good about that. Show the viewers your pin gap real quick so we can look at it. Yeah, it should be close. Let's see. If anything, I bet we have to move your pin down a little. But
I think we're gonna be hot too.
Oh, and I also wanted to loosen this for a second and go just a couple clicks to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go.
That's not bad.
That's like really good elevation.
Yeah, it is.
Still a little to the left, so I question your first axis a little bit. So I think the first thing to do is make Josh double check your rails, because Hamsky Gen 2s, man, they're finicky, or maybe you're just torquing.
I could be.
Give you the benefit of the doubt. Folks, I think his 30 is dead on. You guys are probably thinking, wow, this is easy. No, we're getting lucky.
We are getting very lucky.
Jeff, I'm pulling these. Your 30's set.
Okay.
That's an 11. Both those arrows the same elevation.
Should we try 50?
Yeah. So 50, let me look at your sight picture. It might need to come down, but we'll see.
We said the same thing with last time.
Do you have room to come down? Oh, you got lots of room to come down.
Plenty of room.
Okay, let's see it. Are you kidding me?
This has never happened before. Then again, when we originally did this, we did take it to Josh and we did mess around with it quite a bit.
Does help.
It does.
A little low on that one.
Low.
Dude, that's pretty
freaking good. That one felt like the best shot I made.
We don't need to make any adjustments on this sight, but we did show you guys it's the set screw And then underneath, up or down, it's got little hash marks. Awesome. So he's got his 30, 40, 50. And then so the key for you is to only focus on your middle pin. And I would probably go to Josh's flat range on Friday.
Right.
Have him double check your first axis.
Okay.
Because I don't like my second gen.
Right.
I can't tell if it's really perfect. I'm just being honest. And Josh has done it about
2-3 million
10,000 more times than me, literally. So I think your rail might be off, or you're just torquing because you got some left and rights, but your
Yeah.
height's good. So let's double check your first rail before you shoot for score.
Right.
And then what we'll do is we'll actually get your 80 with your center, your middle pin. Just shoot with the middle pin until you get groups at 80.
What is your best advice to not torque?
Get the shot sense. Put it in your phase 4 is compatible.
I saw that, yeah.
So we'll get you a shot sense, but your
Just
self-esteem will
close.
get lowered. Mine has been lowered significantly. Some days I don't even look at it, but I would say, guys, so he's gonna get his middle pin at 80, get that. We'll bust out the calipers, we'll get that measurement. We'll shoot the chrono at Josh's with that new Garmin, get that number, we'll log into Precision Cut,
Should
and
we
we will.
shoot out here?
No, not in my neighborhood. You gotta, no.
So I did click back to the right before my last shot. This was my first shot, second shot, third shot, and then this was my last shot after clicking.
You
towards the
might be a touch low.
Yeah.
But you can finagle with that a little bit once you get some more reps with the bow.
For sure.
I wouldn't mess with it today. Jeff's elected to have his top pin indicate 30 yards when it's at home. So just moving his pin indicators to where they're towards the top of the sight tape. Boom. So this is his 30 mark. And then this will probably be his 50 mark that he'll set once we get the actual sight tape on. But now he's got home and it's at the dead stop. He's gonna move this down until he finds where that middle pin is 80 yards. And he's gonna mark that. Then we'll get
top pin or right?
middle. We'll just use middle because it's like fixed. It doesn't move. And once we get 80, we'll measure the distance and we'll get a new chrono on your arrow for feet per second. Get you a sight tape printed out from Precision Cut. And Tristan from Precision Cut, I better still have a membership. When I log in, it better not say like, oh, it's inactive. Better say, welcome back, ElkShape, you're a stud.